Okay, so it's time for a tutorial on the Volca Bass. So I recently just picked this up and I pretty much figured out how it works. I haven't made much with it, but let's take a look at it. Okay, so what you've basically got here is a bass synth with 3 oscillators, and you can see these here, 3 VCOs. So the interesting thing is you can group these oscillators, and you can see here VCO group. So you can actually run them separately, or you can have 2 stacked together and then 1, or you can have all 3 stacked together. So what that means is you can make sequences with each individual oscillator. So you can actually like form chords and stuff. So this is a lot more than just a bass synthesizer. You can get leads out of it, you can get stabs, chords, stuff like that. So we'll take a look at that. So let's just take a look at some of the basics. So you can play the keyboard. There you go. These notes here. You've got this octave control which lets you change octave. You can see get really high up there. So you can see you can get leads out of it. But just going a bit higher. Right down to those. You've then got a filter section. So you've got your giant cutoff knob. Peak, I believe, is more like resonance. You've got an LFO, so you've got rate and the amount. So let's turn up that. So with the LFO, you can choose what target. So you can see here, you've got a section that says LFO target. So you can either target the amp, pitch, or cutoff. You can target all of them at once. All you do is press function. Currently I'm only doing cutoff, but I can turn pitch on. And then you can hear. We're affecting the pitch. And you can do the amp as well. You've got an individual pitch control for each oscillator as well. So currently, depending on what VCO group you're in, you can select which oscillator you're actually editing. So at the minute, I've got them all separated because I'm on this first VCO group where they're all separated. Let's change VCO group for a second. If I go to the second one, what you'll see now is these 2 light up together, so I can only choose these options. So essentially these 2 are now stacked together, and then I've got that one on its own. So if I can still change the individual pitch, but when I come to create a sequence, these 2 will run off the same sequence, and then I'll be able to create a different sequence for this oscillator. We'll look at creating a sequence shortly. We've got an overall volume control. Just up the top here, we've got the tempo. Bit of a weird sequence going on at the minute. We've got an envelope. This is like an amp envelope. We've basically just got attack and release. Now you can turn this on and off. There's a setting here. So again, you're pressing function and you can turn that on or off. So let's turn it on. Increase the release. Or we can have really sharp attacks. So if you turn the attack up, it's going to fade in more. If you turn it all the way to the left, it's going to be very sharp. And then release is how much it decays out. So we've also got a cutoff envelope generator here. So this is actually going to apply the envelope to the cutoff. So if we have that off, now we've got an LFO going on as well, so it's a bit all over the place. If we turn the LFO off, just so we can hear. So when I turn that dial up, you can hear it's affecting the filter. When I turn it down, now it's not affecting the filter. So if I turn the attack to the right a bit, it's going to sort of slowly open the filter. You get that kind of wob effect. So for each oscillator you can actually choose what kind of waveform it's going to use. There's actually basically two options by the looks of it. You've got sawtooth and square wave. So they're usually good for basses. So let's just go to like one oscillator. And you can choose for each one. So we're currently on 3. So let me change that. There you go, so that's more like a square wave, I think. Oh no, that's a square wave, isn't it? Yeah, so light on would be square wave. Light off would be saw. That's quite nice sounding. Decent sound coming out of there. So you could have a mixture, because you can choose each individual one, what they're going to be. So yeah, if you haven't figured out already, the function button is used to access any secondary function. So any button that has something else written under it, this is going to be used to access that. So you, like for example, the oscillators, you can actually choose to mute individual oscillators. So you hold function and then you press them on or off. So now I'm only using VCO 3. So if I play, we're only using the one oscillator now. I could bring in another one. You can see it stacks up. I could change the pitch. Kind of make a dodgy chord. Oh, kind of haven't made any decent patches on it yet, but we'll definitely get into that. Look out for some jams. Let's look at some of these other controls. I think what we'll do now is we'll look at creating a sequence, and then it'll be easier to explain some of these other things. So as with all the Volcas, you've got memory slots. So you see you've got a memory button here. If you hold that down, you see you've got 8 memory slots, and you can see as well it says M1, M2, M3, M4, up to 8. And you can just choose what slot you want to currently be in. Currently we're in 1 because it's flashing. If I can choose 5, we'll see what's in 5. So possibly the most boringest bass line ever. Let's see what's in 6. Okay, I think I made a good one in 2, possibly. No, I believe that was more like a chord, but I've changed the pitches, so I've messed it up. So yeah, basically choose a memory slot you want to start in. Basically you're going to have to edit one of these existing slots. So, I mean, I'll edit 5 because there's not much going on there. Now, you've got some settings here that clear out certain parameters. So we can clear out everything, all, or we can clear out just a single part. So that might be one of the oscillators. We can clear out active step settings, and there's slides as well, and we can clear out any slides we've put in. So that'll make more sense later. For the minute, let's just clear out everything that's in here. So you hold function, and then we're going to press clear all. It flashes. And now nothing's in there, so we can start from scratch. So the way you can record in, so I could just start playing notes. And it should start playing those back. Yep, and you can see that it's actually on the 3 stacked oscillators. So it does actually save whatever settings you had in regards to that. I don't think it's going to be saving where these dials are. As we've already seen, when I edit the pitch, it all goes out of whack. Now it might be a bit hard to start recording without a metronome or anything, as I don't believe it has one. I don't see one, unless you were syncing this to a drum machine, which could be done with another Volca, like the Volca Beats or the Volca Drum. So the other way to record is to do step record. So I'm going to clear this pattern again. We're going to start again. I'm going to press all. So we've cleared it again. Just make sure it actually is cleared. And then if you go function and step record, because that's a secondary function. So now we're in step record. So what it's going to allow me to do is choose a note for each step. So there's 16 steps and you see it's flashing on 1. So it wants me to choose a note now to go on step 1. So if I choose this, and now you see it's progressed to step 2. So I choose it again. And so you just keep choosing your notes. And I'll just choose anything random until it gets to 16 and it's gone back to the beginning. Right, so we've entered all our notes. So let's press function to come out of step record and now play and see what I entered. And it tells you there, you can see it shows you what note's currently playing. So what do you do if you want to turn certain steps on or off? Well, you just press this button, which is step mode. And now here, you can see all your steps are lit up. So this is more just for turning steps on and off. You can't really do the pitch here. So I can just turn certain ones on and off. So I've just turned those off. So let's listen to it. I mean, it's absolutely amazing bass line. Okay, so essentially you have to enter the pitch with the step record mode, and then with step mode you can then go in and turn certain ones on or off. So that's another way to enter a pattern. So let's look at slides. So you can put slides in. So we've got slide edit here. So first of all, you have to go into that by pressing function, slide edit. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to choose certain spots where you want it to do a slide. So I'm just going to choose randomly. So let's try and add some more in. And you can hear now it's starting to slide and slur certain notes. So I'm going to raise the pitch. It's a bit more obvious now. Okay, so let's come out of that. I've gone into step edit. Right, you can see there is a sustain button here as well. So this will make notes sustain. Pretty straightforward. Let me turn off the amp envelope. So if I wanted to clear the slide settings, we know how to do that because we just go back to our clear and we can see we've got slide options. So we can go function, clear the slide, and the slides are gone now. If we go back to slide edit, you'll see they're not there. Right, what haven't we done? So you can choose as well what steps are active. You've got an active step setting here, so that's a secondary function again, so we'll hold function, press active step, and you see all the steps are currently lit up. Let's say we remove the last 2 steps, or even the one in the middle. When we take off those steps, it will skip them. So now we've basically got like a 13 step sequence because we've removed 3 steps, and you can clear out those settings if you want to reset them all again by using the clear option. So we can see there's an active step option, so we'll press function, active step, and then they should all be back. Let's up the tempo. Okay, once you're happy with your pattern, you can write it. And again, you can see we've got a write option here. So we're going to press function, write, and then it shows you all the memory slots and it's flashing on the one you're currently in. You could choose another one. I'm going to save it into the one I'm currently in to overwrite. It will flash and now it's written. So if I go to another slot, go to 4. Then we go back to 5. There we go, we can see it's saved. Okay, so let's look at how we can record multiple sequences for each oscillator. So I'm going to overwrite this again. So what I want to do is I want to change to have all 3 oscillators available as separate sequences. So I'm going to choose that option there. And now you can see I can select each oscillator. Actually VCO2 was muted, so let's enable that again. So at the minute I think they're probably all doing the same thing. I want to clear out everything. We're going to start from scratch. So function, clear all. Okay, so now I'm on VCO1. I'm going to step record. So function, step record. And let's just put a note in. Okay, let's play. When I was in step record and I tried to press play, I think it was just giving me the note I was on, so that was a bit weird. But let's do it. So I've literally put one note in. Now what I want to do now is I want to go to VCO2, I want to go back to step record, and I want to enter a note that's going to harmonise with that first note. So that one maybe. I don't know what was going on there, it was being a bit weird, but it has entered my notes. So for VCO3, I'm going to actually play it in myself. Let's up the octave. Okay, so pretty weird sequence going on, but you get the idea. I can make like harmonies now with 3 different oscillators. So basically getting like kind of 3-note polyphony at this point. And I can edit the pitch. Turn the amp on. Let's put an LFO on the cutoff. Right, let's try muting one of the oscillators out. Put some slides in. to hear many slides because there's not a lot of pitch changes in the notes. Okay, we've now gone into active step. Change it up. So as you can see, you can start playing around with it. It gets quite fun. You can make different sounds, mute things on and off, put slides in, play with a filter. Quite a lot of options on this, to be honest, so I'm pretty impressed with it. It would be really nice if they'd included like a reverb or a delay effect. That's what it kind of needs, I think, especially when you get into like creating leads and stabs with it. For bass, yeah, you wouldn't usually put a reverb or delay on a bass. Not saying you can't, but most of the time it doesn't sound great, so maybe that's why they didn't bother, or there just was too much going on already. But you know, it's, you know, I'm sure people have got delay pedals, reverb pedals that they can connect this to. Just quickly look at some of the more connectivity. So power wise, it's the same as all the other Volcas. It takes 6 AA batteries. I believe when you buy it you get those with it. We've got a DC 9 volt input as well. It can be powered by center positive. We've got MIDI input, so you can control this with MIDI. You could send MIDI clock to it. You've also got the sync in and out, which all the Volcas have, so you can sync this up to any other Volca. It also has a little speaker on the back, as they all do, which again doesn't sound amazing. It's alright if you just want to have a quick play. I made use of it when I was just figuring it out. I wasn't too bothered about the sound at that point. I was just trying to figure out how everything worked. So it is kind of useful that I didn't have to connect it up to some speakers. I could just sit on my sofa and play with it. So I think that about covers all of the functions and the unit. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave in the comments. I always try and get back to people on those. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like if you found this helpful, and I'll see you next time.